The Path to Zen. In a small village, nestled at the foot of a mist-covered mountain range, lived a boy named Aki. He and his parents resided in a humble wooden house, surrounded by meadows and trickling streams. Aki was unlike the other children in the village. While his friends enjoyed playing and hunting, Aki would often sit for hours watching clouds drift by and pondering life's great questions. Why do we exist? What is true happiness? How can the human heart find peace? Aki's parents loved him dearly, but they were worried. They didn't know how to help him find answers to such profound questions. One day, while helping his father work in the fields, Aki overheard a story about an old Zen master who lived atop Mount Takumi, known to the villagers as the Awakened One. It was said that this master could see into people's hearts, and anyone fortunate enough to study under him would find eternal peace. That night, Aki lay in bed unable to sleep. Something stirred deep within him, like a flame newly kindled. At dawn, he bid farewell to his parents, slung a small satchel over his shoulder containing a few rice cakes and water, and set off to find the Zen master. The journey to Mount Takumi was far from easy. Aki had to trek through dense forests, cross rivers, and scale slippery cliffs. At times, he wanted to give up, but each time he reminded himself of the unanswered questions and kept moving forward. After 3 days and nights, he reached the gates of an ancient temple at the mountain's peak. The scent of incense floated in the air, blending with the cold breeze, carrying with it an eerie, sacred feeling. Aki knelt before the gate and bowed 3 times. Moments later, the gate opened. An elderly monk appeared, his eyes bright like stars and his smile serene. "What are you seeking here?" the monk asked. Aki bowed respectfully. "Master, I seek Zen. Please show me the path to it." The master looked at him for a long while, then replied in a calm, deep voice, 10 years. Aki was startled but not discouraged. "What if I study diligently day and night? Can I shorten the time?" "Then 20 years, the master said gently. Aki was taken aback. "But if I devote myself completely, giving up everything to study the way, could it be faster?" 30 years, the master smiled. Aki was stunned. He couldn't understand. Why would greater determination lead to a longer journey? With a confused expression, he asked, "Master, I don't understand. Why does striving harder make the path longer?" The Zen master did not answer immediately. He turned and walked into the temple, gesturing for Aki to follow. In a small garden behind the temple, he stopped beside an ancient tree. "Look at this tree," he said. "It took 30 years to grow this tall. If one day it tried to grow faster, to force itself upward, what would happen?" Aki looked at the tree and shook his head. "It would break, master." "Exactly," the master nodded. "To find Zen, you must learn to take each step without rushing. When one eye is always fixed on the destination, only one eye is left to see the path. And if you cannot see the path, you are likely to fall." Aki fell silent. The master's words rang in his soul like a distant bell. Time passed. Aki was allowed to stay at the temple to study. Each day, he rose before the rooster crowed, swept the temple grounds, cooked rice, carried water, tended the vegetable garden, chanted scriptures, and meditated. At first he thought, if I work twice as hard as everyone else, I will reach enlightenment sooner. But soon he realized his heart was constantly disturbed by that very thought. One day, while sweeping leaves in the courtyard, Aki remembered his first question. What is Zen? But this time, instead of seeking an answer, he sat on a stone bench and watched the leaves fall. They floated on the breeze, touched the ground gently, and lay still, unworried, unburdened. Suddenly, a wave of lightness spread through his heart. He smiled, not because he had found the answer, but because he no longer needed to ask. 10 years later, Aki, now a young man, returned to his village to visit his parents. The villagers noticed he had changed. His eyes were calm, his words gentle, and his steps slow, as if every step carried meaning. An old friend asked, "Aki, did you find Zen?" Aki smiled. "I no longer search for it, but I think it has always been beside me. I just didn't recognize it before." The final meaning. The path to Zen lies not at the destination, but in each step, each breath, every moment of the present. It is like climbing a tall tree to reach its sweet fruit. If all you do is look at the top, you will stumble. But if you pay attention to each branch, each foothold, each careful move, then not only will you reach the fruit, but the entire journey will have been worth it.